What we ask is that you shall cease to imagine that women are outside this law, and that you shall come into the knowledge that disenfranchisement means the same degradation to your daughters as to your sons. Governments cannot afford to ignore the rights of those holding the ballot, who make and unmake every law and lawmaker. It is not because the members of Congress are tyrants that women receive only half pay and are admitted only to inferior positions in the departments. It is simply in obedience to a law of political economy, which makes it impossible for a government to do as much for the disenfranchised as for the enfranchised. Women are no exception to the general rule. As disenfranchisement always has degraded men, socially, morally, and industrially, so today it is disenfranchisement that degrades women in the same spheres. Again, men say it is not votes, but the law of supply and demand which regulates wages. The law of gravity is that water shall run down a hill, but when men build a dam across a stream, the force of the gravity is stopped and the water is held back. The law of supply and demand regulates free and enfranchised labor, but disenfranchisement stops its operation. What we ask is the removal of the dam, that women, like men, may reap the benefit of the law. Did the law of supply and demand regulate the work and wages in the olden days of slavery? This law can no more reach the disenfranchised than it did the enslaved. There is scarcely a place where a woman can earn a single dollar without a man's consent. There are many women equally well qualified with men for principals and superintendents of schools, and yet, while 3/4 of the teachers are women, nearly all of them are regulated to subordinate positions on half or at most 2/3 the salaries paid to men. The law of supply and demand is ignored, and that of sex alone settles the question. If a businessman should advertise for a bookkeeper and 10 young men, equally well qualified, should present themselves and, after looking them over, he should say,